So as mentioned, I'll be talking today about my internship with NORCAT. I started in September and it lasted 10 weeks. So we were doing 2 days a week at 15 hours a week to get to the 150 hours. So with everything in lockdown, some of us really missed traveling, including myself. And since NORCAT graciously allowed me to use their roadmap, let's take a road trip together as I walk you through my NORCAT internship journey. So I'll start with talking about my goals for the internship, and then we'll move on to my contributions to NORCAT, and then we'll arrive at the outcome. So starting off with my goals, the reasons why I wanted to try the internship is I wanted to gain professional experience. After my master's, I wanted to be more appealing to employers. So this was something that I was able to give me professional experience in occupational health and safety. I also wanted to see if this was the type of work I wanted to pursue in the future. So I've tried quite a few different types of work in the past. And often once I started working in a permanent position, I realized that the work just wasn't for me. So to keep this from happening again, this internship was a great opportunity to try out this kind of work with a short time commitment so that I could see if it's really something I wanted to pursue in the future. And I also had this internship count as one of the elective courses for my master's program. So there's some added work that goes along with that to meet the credit requirements, but that won't be included in the presentation today. I'm just going to be talking about the actual time spent working. So I'm going to start off with talking about what NORCAT does, for those of you who aren't familiar, specifically advisory services, because that's the department that I completed my internship with, and why they wanted an intern. So NORCAT is a private nonprofit organization that develops and provides world-class programs, services, and resources to reduce injury, save lives, and enhance productivity in the workplace. To accomplish this, over the past 20 years, NORCAT has worked with clients and partners to develop an array of integrated training and development programs to serve multiple sectors, both in Canada and around the world. So advisory services, like I mentioned, is the department where I worked for my internship. So NORCAT Advisory works with clients around the world on a variety of strategic and tactical projects. Their areas of expertise include compliance and risk management, talent and human capital, and innovation strategy and policy development. So the advisory team delivers innovative and customized solutions and expertise to create a positive and lasting impact. So now NORCAT, they wanted an intern to reduce the overall employee workload by having an extra set of hands to help accomplish goals and finish projects while providing real life experience in the occupational health and safety field to the intern. They saw it as a great opportunity to test out a new working relationship and vice versa, and potentially retain the intern as a new hire. So as you can see, our goals really did align, and right from the start, we could both tell that it was a great fit. So moving along to my contributions, as opposed to some of the other presentations we've heard today, my internship didn't involve one single large project. I had the opportunity to contribute in various ways. So this included auditing training materials, fire plan, a shotcreting training program, and a certified entry-level minor program course outlines. So this allowed me to try out the different aspects of the work that advisory services does at NORCAT. And now I'm going to go into detail about each of these. So my first task was auditing training materials. So I reviewed and audited various training programs to provide assurance that the existing content aligned with applicable legislation updates. So this was very informative for me. I was able to learn quite a bit about a lot of mining topics. So this was a great start to my internship, great introduction for me. And in the end, I was able to recommend minor updates based on my review of the Respiratory Protection Awareness Program. And this was based on the applicable CSA standard, the Z94.4 for selection, use, and care of respirators. So this type of review of current content that NORCAT has can be very time consuming, And the fact that I was there as an intern allowed me to review this without taking any time away from the other projects that were currently underway with NORCAT. So that was one of the real advantages for that. And next, so the NORCAT Underground Training Center in Onaping is in its final stages of construction of a new surface building to meet the growing demand for NORCAT's ability to demonstrate new technologies in action. With the new building comes the requirement for a fire safety plan under the Ontario Fire Code. So I was able to sit in on a meeting where the details of this fire plan were worked out. This was a great opportunity for me to learn, and I was able to contribute and give my point of view during its development. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the details of fire plans, but this process is much more intensive than I'd originally thought, since the requirements are quite stringent and very detailed. And since each building has its own systems and specifications, each aspect of the plan needed to be reviewed in detail for this new building to make sure it all met the required legislation. So next, I was also involved in the custom curricular development for several clients. A gold mining company requested the development of a shotcreting program for mining personnel. So the mining company needed an entire package to be able to train their employees to effectively and safely complete shotcreting. And this program needed to align with the Ontario Underground Hard Rock Miner Common Core Specialty Module, Perform Shotcreting. For those of you not familiar with shotcreting, it involves spraying concrete by projecting it at a high velocity using a hose. So in this image here, you can see the result of that. And it's used in underground mining for ground support of permanent openings, such as ramps, haulages, shafts, stations, and crusher chambers. Under the supervision of one of NORCAT's advisory occupational health and safety consultants, I was responsible for reviewing the standard and the shotcrete equipment manufacturer's models, as well as creating each aspect of the training. So this training included two main sections or components, one being a theory component and the other a practical. So for the theory component, it involved an in-class training. So where there's a PowerPoint used and it's one trainer is presenting to the trainees who sit at their desk and take notes. And this is followed by a written exam at the end. And the practical component is conducted in the field with the actual equipment. And the trainer gives a demonstration and the trainees need to perform each task properly and safely to pass. So this is an important part of this training, because not only do you need to know the theory and the safety protocols and things like that, but it's important to be able to actually complete the training and know that you actually can use all the safety protocols. So this, once again, allowed the rest of the NORCAT team to really work on more pressing projects while I spent the time working on this. And next, I assisted in creating course outlines for a certified entry-level miner safety certification program. So in this case, the client was a mining college in Greenland, and each course outline included instructional equipment and material requirements, course topics or individual lessons, and the total course duration. So the method of delivery, teaching aid, evaluation, and duration was described for individual lessons. And the course curriculum needed to align with the college's timetables. Carefully planning the content and duration was important and at times difficult. So in cases like the previous example where training packages are created for industry, the timing is much more flexible. So since they do it on their own time, they do it when the equipment's available or when the workers being trained are there, depending on shifts or rotations or things like that. They have more flexibility to do it how best suits them. But in the case of a college where timetables are very strict and lesson timing is already set and certain timing with breaks and lunches and things like that are already established. So in this case, that was the real challenge, was to make everything not only complete and accurate, but also fit into that set timetable. So moving on to the outcome of my internship. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to experience different aspects of occupational health and safety from an internal organizational point of view. So that would be the fire plan and the auditing courses. But I was also a part of developing content for external clients located in Canada's East Coast and Greenland. So as you can see, the work done at NORCAT really is international, but it was nice for me to have both those experiences to be able to really see if this is the kind of work I wanted to pursue. And I'm happy to announce that my internship has led to full-time employment with NORCAT as an OHS researcher and technical writer. So looking back at my goals that I talked about earlier, I did get a chance to get my professional experience, and I was able to get experience each of the aspects that this job would entail, which I'd really like to thank NORCAT for giving me the chance to do that, and not just whatever they needed to get done, but they really did make sure that I had a chance to try each of the aspects of the job to know if this is something I wanted to pursue. And looking back at their goals, they were able to have me try each of the aspects of the job to make sure I was competent to complete them all, and that it was the results were something that they wanted. And we see here on the slide is a quote from the Director of Advisory Services at NORCAT. And so she said, the cross-student internship offered a great opportunity to the NORCAT Advisory Services team. During the internship, Josée made valuable contributions, culminating with an accepted full-time offer of employment. This internship program is a fantastic opportunity for employers to work with young professionals and give them experience and provide organizations competent, skilled workers in a cost-effective manner. So like I said, I was really happy to get a chance to try each of the aspects, and NORCAT was able to test, my competence in each of these. And so this internship ended in November, and I have been working since then, and it's been going really well. It's been the same kind of work, and I'm really happy I had the chance to do this internship, and now I'm looking forward to staying in this position for a long time. So I'd like to thank both Crosh and NORCAT for the opportunity to complete this internship, and as well as NORCAT for the full-time offer. Thanks to everyone who tuned into my presentation. It's been really great to hear about everyone else's work and their experiences with the internship. And I'll definitely be tuning into the 3-minute presentations later today, and I'd recommend you all do the same. For now, I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
Thank you very much, Josée, for that insight into your really cool work with NORCAT. That was a great success story. So thank you for sharing. We do have one question. Do you have any advice for students looking for internships, having gone through the experience yourself?
Yes. So I definitely recommend trying it out. And I'd say look for something that you'd want to pursue in the future. Doing an internship just to do one, I don't think has the same value as doing something that would really interest you or lead to something in the future. Because I really think this type of internship really opens the door to more future work, even if it's not specifically with that company, but if they have contacts or anything, or if your project involves work with outside industry or anything like that, I really think it opens the door to future work possibilities.
Oh, fantastic. That's great advice. Do we have any other questions from the audience that we can pose to Josée? Perfect. Okay. Well, I think that is. Oh, actually, we do have another one here. So, Josée, what skills do you think you used the most from your graduate studies when it came to your internship?
Difficult to say which one the most, but definitely both the research and the writing. So part of the putting together the custom curriculum development work, a lot of that comes with researching and finding good resources of information, because sometimes with things like an instructor manual, the information's there, but it's not always presented as clearly as you'd want it to. So finding other resources to add extra details or specific cases, as well as clear writing to make sure that everything is presented in a way that everyone will understand, particularly for the presentation side of it, for the PowerPoint, is to make sure that it's wordage that's understandable by the type of people who are taking the training.